โดยผ่าน Zoom using the Zoom technology ตอนนี้ we have คุณท็อปนะครับคุณท็อปจิรายุอยู่ในรายการเรานะครับอยากจะเริ่มต้นซีรีส์เรื่องของเทคโนโลยี solution สำหรับตัวโควิด -19 เนี่ยตอนนี้เป็น pandemic นะครับที่กระทบคนไทยแล้วก็ทุกประเทศทั่วโลกนะครับคราวนี้ซีรีส์ของเรา Covid-19 Tech Series เราก็อยากจะเริ่มต้นเรื่องของเทคโนโลยีที่ work from home นะฮะ work from home technology คุณท็อปนี่ก็เป็นผู้เชี่ยวชาญทางด้านเทคโนโลยีมานานนะครับจะมาให้ความรู้ว่าสำหรับท่านผู้ชมour audience นะครับคราวนี้ we would like to, in English นะครับ thailandtoday.co นี่ก็เป็นเว็บไซต์ข่าวภาษาอังกฤษ we and English language news เว็บไซต์นะครับ on Thailand ก็ welcome โปรแกรมครับคุณท็อป
Thank you for having me ครับคุณครับคุณ
First of all what is your suggestion for our audiences in Thailand and other countries about using the technology to solve problems the problems are very serious everyone know the latest information from the Thai government is imposing the curfew already starting today ใช่ไหม from 10 p.m. until 4 o'clock in the morning no one is allowed to leave their home นะครับเพราะนั้นก็ for the first time we going to have a nationwide curfew so obviously many people cannot go to their office even during daytime even though some offices still open but the number of people working physically at their office is quite low I guess I heard that now only maybe 20% or even less of the is working physically at office so I would say the majority working from their home their apartment their condominium units so in your opinionคุณท็อป what is your suggestion for work from home technology please
Sure. So you can see that with this coronavirus crisis, it will change the way people host meetings. It will change the way people work. It will definitely change the way people consume things, and even the monetary system is changing as well. The U.S. government is printing, unlimited amount of money out right now. So let's talk about the first thing. It will change the way people travel also. People discovered that with the technologies, some meetings can be done with just emails, right?
Yes.
And we will discover the way to host meetings more effectively. Sometimes we don't need to go meet people face to face. Sometimes some things can be done with just one single email, or it will change the way people work as well. Right now, a lot of companies are moving towards a cloud solution. It would give different companies more flexibility in terms of migrating to work online. So cloud adoption is increasing at a much faster rate right now. And if you see, this crisis highlights the importance of having digital strategies. It's very important that companies start to move their business online and start to look for customers and see what their needs are. Spot new consumption habits being formed, especially right now universities started to teach online education. It's going to become the new normal, right? Even after the crisis, people will be learning online more than before, because after a certain period people will get used to a new consumption habits, right? Or there'll be a transformation in healthcare delivery as well, or telemedicine. We can go talk to doctors online via Skype, via Zoom, to reduce the travel time, or there will definitely be an increase in B2B digital channels for news and marketing online. So these things are going to become the new normal for sure. It's the new consumption habit that people will not go back to the previous trend. And also the delivery, the food delivery service. Right now, if you see, Canadian people in Canada are buying food online. We see
Yes.
a 9% increase in recent months, or even Netflix subscription. People are watching movies more and more in Italy now, when they're half of the world's population are under a lockdown. People in Italy has been subscribing to Netflix. We see a 60% increase in Netflix subscription. So it will change the way people consume things. And if you look back, Alibaba actually grew. E-commerce in China took off when SARS occurred. Right.
Yes.
So these are the new consumption habits that people are shifting, and it's going to become the new normal. So as an entrepreneurs or business owners, you have to focus on your digital strategies and shift your business online and see, spot new consumption trends. And if you see the unemployment rate, we are facing the highest unemployment rate in the last 38 years. Right now, there are 3.3 million people unemployed in America, the highest in almost 40 years. So there will be a shift in the employment structure as well. There'll be an increase in freelancer. Gig economy will be booming after the crisis because people are losing jobs during the crisis. And so it's very important that people change the way they work within the company to bring in technologies to automate things, reduce costs, improve productivity. With me, I have 30 apps that different companies can use to change the way they work.
Talk about some of them.
Sure. So the first app I would like to introduce to everyone is called Slack or Microsoft Teams. Right? SLACK, Slack. Or Microsoft Teams. Right now, most people in Thailand use Line for communication and to share customers' data. I can tell you that this is not a safe way to do this because for Line, there's no data encryption, meaning that there could be a leak in confidential data or information outside. It is very important that companies embrace new ways, new tools to communicate within the organization. I encourage people to try out Slack. It's very similar to Line, but it is used for companies' internal communication. But there is an encryption, so file data sharing is more compliant to PDPA regulations.
Go to Microsoft
but you have
Teams.
to.
Slack, same thing, right?
It's the same thing. Actually, Microsoft tried to buy Slack in the past, but they failed to buy Slack, so they created a copycat called Microsoft Teams. They are identical.
But
it's very useful.
How you spell it again, please?
SLACK, Slack.
Oh, CK, okay. SLACK, Slack, or Microsoft Teams. Safer than other application because of encryption.
Yes, and it's more suitable for internal companies' communication. We can create different channels for different teams to discuss different topics. And the most useful thing about Slack is that you can integrate different applications to Slack. Slack can act as your super app. You can monitor almost every aspect of the company with Slack.
And how popular is it in Thailand now?
Most startups are using Slack in Thailand, but SMEs and big corporations are still not used to this application yet. But it is a very good application, a very good company. They are listed on the stock exchange in America already in less than 10 years.
And that
And
for you. What about number 2?
the next app is an HR, is the HR app that I would like to introduce, called Bonusly or Karma. Alternatives called Karma. Bonus, BONUSLY, Bonusly.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's another app called Karma, KARMA.
Karma, okay. Mm-hmm.
So if you think of a company as an economy, we must have money, right, to allocate resource effectively. So if you think of a company as an economy, there must be an internal dollar to allocate resources effectively.
Mm-hmm.
With the Karma or Bonusly app, you can assign each employee a certain amount of money. For example, in my company, I give everyone 200 baht per month. That's the rule is that you must give this 200 baht to someone else. You cannot give this to yourself. Then, you know, when people stay late at the office, your colleagues is helping you, offer a helping hand, staying late, doing your graphic work for you, for example. Then you can reward your team members with Karma points or Bonusly points. You know, you can give 10 baht, 100 baht, 50 baht, as as a help, as a gratitude for helping, for staying behind,
like
to
an
help
OT.
you with
Is it
work.
OT? Like an OT, right? In the older.
It's more like point system. It acts as an internal money, internal dollar to allocate resource. So, for example, if there is one very popular person that he helps people all the time, he's going to be very popular. For example, engineers are very popular because they help automate different systems in the company. Then everyone would have to bid for this engineer's time, right? Because he has a very limited time. Then people with money would bid for his time to come and help them automate tasks. This way, it is the best way to allocate the engineer's time properly within the company. So it acts as an internal dollar. Then for every transaction that is being transferred, you can display the transaction on the public channel on Slack. Then the whole company can see that you're transferring 100 baht, 50 baht to golf, for example. That helps you for your graphic work after 7 p.m. Or this engineer, you transfer him 20 baht for his help with automation. Then everyone can go and comment on different transaction, on the public transaction. You can like the transaction, you can comment on the transaction. I think it's a very good gimmick to help motivate.
Something like an incentive program, on top.
Yes, correct.
So that's your number 2 favorite. What about number 3?
The third app is called Calamari. 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 Usually, when people want to take a day off, in a typical company, they need to go to the HR and sign a form on paper, right? They need to sign it 7 times, get the approval from the managers. It takes time to move around the paper. With this app, people can request a day off online right away. And the request would go directly to their managers. They can allow or they can accept or reject the request on their smartphone.
Yes.
Right. Then every month, people can, the HR can go to Calamari and pull out the reports. How many days off on average the team is taking per month, how many days off left each person has. So it helps automate the HR function. And you can integrate this Calamari on Slack as well. So people can request a day off on Slack channel with Slack integration.
How you manage people, their working hours, like a HR.
Yes. So it's very useful for work from home period. We have been working from home for over a month now. We have about 100 plus employees. imagine if people are requesting day offs and you need to sign on paper.
Mm-hmm.
We are wasting, cost, wasting money on delivering papers to the managers. It's not cost effective. So we are using this app where everyone can request a day off online right away. And the
Nice.
HR would save time to compile the reports as well. How many people are taking day off per month, per year?
So
It
this
would increase the productivity.
calamari for HR.
Calamari,
Yep.
for HR, yep.
Mm-hmm. And maybe you like talk about number 4 favorite for you, the app to facilitate work from home.
The next app I would suggest is called Trello, Trello. Trello. This is a
Trello. Yeah, quite well known.
this is a project management app.
Mm-hmm.
So it allows you. It's like an online sticky note. Usually different companies would have sticky notes stick on the walls, right? And you need to move sticky notes to different deck to doing done on the wall. But
Yes.
think of Trello as an online sticky note where you can create cards on different deck, to do deck, doing deck, done deck. Then for each card that you create, you can add people onto the card. Those people that are involved in a project can be added. You can just add their face onto the card. Then the managers can add due date when this project is gonna due, and you can add people involved, and people can go and comment on the card as well. Then you can see history of ideas and discussions. Then people can move the card around different deck, so we can know that what's happening in the company, how many projects are being managed right now, how many are putting on hold, how many projects are done already. It's a project management app for the whole company. I think it's a very useful tool.
Project management. Yep.
Yes, it is a project management app, and it's free also. This app is free.
I see. And your number 5.
Sure. The next application I would like to introduce is called Evernote. Evernote, EVERNOTE.
Note taking.
Yes, it is for note taking. Usually in a meeting, like there'll be people writing on papers, right? The minute of meeting. Then after the meeting, this person would go and photocopy the notes and hand this paper around to everyone in the company. Imagine if you have 100 people, 200 people in the company, 3,000 people. Note sharing is not very effective because you need to go and photocopy the papers, right? And move around the papers and not time efficient. With Evernote, you can do note taking on your laptop, on your iPad, on your phone. Then after the meeting, with one single swipe, you can share the note over to 100 people, 200 people at the same time. So it's a much more effective way to share information. And it's on cloud. It's a cloud service too, meaning that imagine if you go somewhere without a laptop, you can ask for someone else's laptop. You can log in on your Evernote with your email and password to get access to your notes online everywhere. It's on the cloud, so you can work everywhere, and you can share your notes effectively. Imagine with papers, you have to go to the office to share your notes, right, with your colleagues or team members, and it's not very effective to move papers around. With this, you're digitizing your note-taking function of the company. It would save a lot of time and cost over time.
So I think we heard the top 5 applications from Kun Topp, Kun Jirayut. I guess they are your favorite. Number 1, I repeat, Slack, right? SLACK, Slack from Microsoft Team. That Kun Topp number 1 application. Number 2 is the Bonusly, Bonus, BONUS and LY, right? Bonusly and Karma. They are both the same. They are 2 separate apps or what? Kun Topp.
They're two separate apps, two
Yeah.
competitor, just like Slack and Microsoft Teams.
I see.
You can choose which, either
Either
one.
one. Yeah, Bonusly or Karma. So this one, the main purpose benefit is for incentives to the worker.
Incentives to motivate the team to allocate resource better in the company.
Mm-hmm. That's your number 2 favorite. Number 3 is the Karamari. Karamari, Kalamali. Karamari. I'm right? Karamari. Yeah, please.
CALAMARI.
Oh, C. Sorry.
Yeah.
CALAMARI. Right? RI. Okay. So this one for HR, human resources, people's management. That number 3 favorite. Number 4 is Trello. 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 I think it's quite well known in Thailand for project management. And number 5, Evernote for note taking. EVERNOTE. So these are your top 5 applications for work from home. But we like to hear from you, Kun Top. What is your opinion on Zoom? Zoom now very popular, not only in Thailand, but around the world. Even the Prime Minister of UK, he held the cabinet meetings on Zoom because he is under quarantine, right? So what is your opinion, please?
So Zoom is one of the apps that benefited a lot during the COVID crisis.
Mm-hmm.
I think the stock price, Zoom stock price has gone up 101% since the end of January. I think it's a great app to host video meetings, conference call. You can either use Zoom or Google Hangouts. These are great apps. So they are competitors. I would recommend both, either Zoom or Google Hangouts.
Mm-hmm.
But recently there is a news that Zoom has been sharing data with Facebook. So it's not as safe. It's not as confidential. So
Mm-hmm.
Zoom share your location, login time on app to Facebook, and people are complaining. So it's not a privacy apps. So if you're just gonna get on a call and expect nothing confidential, you can use Zoom for your online conference call. But if it is something very confidential, I don't recommend you use Zoom because they have this issue right now.
Yeah, but for the media, I think at our company, ThailandToday.co and Business Today, they also using Zoom as an app to broadcast with the Facebook. But if there is no privacy concern, then it's okay, right?
Yes. So it would, for sure, after the crisis, the online education will take off. And it's going to be the new normal. It will never be the same again, the way people consume education. For sure, with Zoom, you can host 100 people conference call meeting. You can learn online, teach 100 students online at the same time. I think this app is very useful. But in terms of privacy, not quite, because there are recent news that Zoom has been sharing data to Facebook.
So going back to our topic on work from home technology, maybe I would like to ask you what the do's and don'ts, how many do's and how many don'ts that you would recommend to our audiences, please.
Actually, I have over 30 apps. 30 apps to share. We only just covered 5 apps today. But I would say the most important thing is the mindset. especially if you are an entrepreneur, if you are the business owners.
Yes.
You know, crisis would differentiate between true entrepreneurs and we call it startup tourists. It will differentiate between really good business, you know, and normal business. Really good business would have, you know, would survive any crisis, right? They would prepare ahead of time, think of about, you know, have digital strategies, move business online, adapt. So mindset is very important of the people working. You have to have an open mindset, willing to embrace new things, embrace new technology, change the way we work. I would like to share that we are living in the internet century now. This century is very different from the Industrial Revolution era. The way people work, you know, has to evolve over time as well. With this coronavirus crisis, it is acting as a catalyst to expedite the digital transformation of our economy. So it is very important that the mindset has to be right to create change within the company. You have to have a mindset that, you know, for any function that can be automated, would be automated, right? You need to automate as many functions as possible to reduce cost, to improve productivity. Anything that requires repeatable tasks by humans must be automated, because computers can do so much better work than human on repeatable tasks, right?
Yes.
So you need to have digital strategy with digital strategies within the company and outside the company, right? Within the companies, you have to think what are the apps that can come in and reduce costs, improve productivity. Sometimes companies don't really need to let people go during the crisis. CEOs can also keep the same amount of employees, but improve productivity instead, right? By embracing new technology to get more work done with the same amount of resources. You know, same inputs, more outputs. Within the outside digital transformation, digital strategies, you need to find or spot new trends, new consumption habits that is going to be being formed after the crisis, because the world is moving forward. They will never be the same, right? The new normal. I can tell for sure that online education is going to happen. A transformation in healthcare, you know, telemedicine is going to happen, or, you know, online marketing, online media is going to expedite the development for sure. So you need to be able to, you know, spot new trends, what customers need. You need to see and understand what customers need. Alibaba took off during the last crisis, right? SARS crisis, e-commerce. People were buying and selling things online. So you need to see with this crisis too on the outside digital strategies, the trend and the consumption trend. You know, cloud kitchen is definitely coming. So this is very important that, you know, I think it's a good period for us to you know, to rethink the strategy and adapt quickly.
So I guess changing your mindset, adapting your mindset is the number one most important must do, right?
Yes, I think that's the most important thing
Changing your
to create
mindset,
change.
adapting your mindset to the new normal, like you said. I think we need quite a few more sessions with you later on. But for today, we have a few more minutes. So that's the first thing. The most important must do is changing your mindset to the new normal, like you said. What the don't do things during this pandemic? What's your idea?
So I think for another recommendation, I would say is to try to negotiate on rent to reduce cost, and provide employees with adequate tools for them to work online. You know, provide them with laptops, computers, a loan program for them to stock up on supplies, you know, health checkup or masks. to take care of your employees. I think it's the don't do is to not taking care of your people,
Oh,
right?
you cannot leave
During the
your
crisis,
people.
during the crisis, it will show true character of your leadership. It will reveal who you are during the crisis. So it's very important because people are the greatest assets in the company. If I'm the
Oh.
CEO and I can only focus on one thing in the company, I would focus on people, because usually
Yes.
people is the root cause of problems or opportunities. To bring in change, to bring about change. So it is very important to train, reskill your workers, to take a good care and to maximize communication well. So the don't do is to ignore your employees and to not maximize your communication. That's not a very good idea. I would encourage to maximize the velocity of information within the company and making sure that we're taking care of people, and everyone would need to come together and help the company go through the crisis, right? The job of the leaders is to sacrifice numbers for the people.
Yes.
Do not sacrifice people for the numbers just yet, right? Try to reduce costs on other things like rent, negotiate with the landlord on rent, on other unnecessary expenses, marketing expenses, right? We need to stop hiring, stop marketing expense, stop rent, but do not dispense people. Try your best to bring in positive change. Provide your employees with enough tools, laptops, health check, loan program, mask, DCP program, and to make sure that they can do the best work. And you need to maximize your communication. That's very important thing to everyone in the company.
So from Top, the most important don't do thing is do not leave your people behind, and
Yes.
take them, very important, and do something else, even sacrifice the profitability, even shoulder the losses, but keep your people, take care of them, right?
Yes, and we need to communicate well that the company is taking a hit, and we need to reskill, quickly, change quickly, spot new consumption trend, and people, everyone in the company should help to try with the transition to this digital transformation. We need to reskill the worker with enough knowledge. We need to provide them with enough tools for them to do the best work.
So I think if you have anything else to add before we finish our session, even though we started a little bit some technical problem, but
Sure. So I would say do not panic. Please take maybe some time off to be alone, to be by yourself, and do not make decisions too quickly. Sometimes you need to be to take some time to think through things and to make sure that you're making the right decision. So very important, when you are relaxed, you can do things better. So it's important not to panic, right? Everyone is facing the same situations everywhere around the world.
yes.
So do not panic, and we need to have an open mindset, ready to embrace new things, and eventually everything will be fine. The crisis will differentiate between true entrepreneurs and tourists, startup tourists, and between great companies and good companies, right? So you need to be able to adapt quickly.
Adapt the mindset, that the number one do, and the number one don't leave your people behind. Don't basically, if you can, don't lay off yet. Try to reduce other expenses such as rent and other expenditures and keep your people.
Yes, very important not to, because people are the greatest asset. But as a leader, you need to communicate well, maximize the communication, and do not panic. Right? When you're relaxed, you can do things better.
Yep. So I think we would like to have more session with you maybe later on, since you mentioned about the new normal for education. So I guess probably the schools would be able to open